It's across the board with the Trump administration agenda. It is that same old, age-old, far right-wing, ultimately libertarian, free market at all costs ideology. And let's look at Marino, the guy that that Trump was going to that was putting up as the proposed drug czar, right?
Right. This new ass hat he's got now.
Right. Which apparently is not going to be the drug czar now. But why? What came out about him and the hundreds of thousands of dollars that he took to facilitate passing a bill that made it possible for the pharmaceutical companies to ease restrictions on them so that they could just flood the American market with opioids, which directly led to a massive, massive pharmaceutical opioid epidemic in the United States. And this guy, Marino, the president of the United States, wanted to head his frickin' drug policy, was directly profited from that process and facilitated its implementation. So it's Mike.
But it's not surprising. Come on, we got Steve Mnuchin as the Treasury Secretary. We got the head of Exxon as Secretary of State.
Every single person that Trump has appointed to head a department has a long history of trying to destroy the department that they're now a part of. It's the total Bannon legacy of, deconstruction, dystopian, Armageddon-esque, when people are completely backed into a corner and society has crumbled and there's devastation everywhere, they'll lean heavily on a strong man to follow.
Well, that's politics, bro. That's disaster politics.
Right.
It's and if there's not a disaster, then we create one, like 9/11. And then we can erode. That way we have the right now to take away human rights. Why y'all ain't looking.
Or at least take, however you fall on 9/11. I mean, inside job or not inside job. I mean, the reaction to it was obviously it was massively exploited, right?
Absolutely. Come on,
of 9/11.
It's called the Patriot Act, bro.
Right, and the NSA, and so much of our current foreign intervention, which resulted in further acts of terrorism, which ultimately led to the formation of ISIS.
I thought Obama made ISIS.
Right. I mean, he was just as much. I think Obama is
and
just
Hillary.
Culpable, and Hillary and Bush. They're all culpable. It's not like any one of those people went out and directly put ISIS together. But Bush's de-Baathification order during the first initial attack in Iraq, coupled with his complete dismantling of the military in Iraq, led to, again, disaster capitalism, because then it let all these private companies come in and profit off it, which ultimately created the perfect conditions for the rise of ISIS.
Let's talk about ISIS. Let's talk about ISIS in Iraq for a minute, real quick, okay, bro? Because just this week, the coalition forces took Mosul back from from ISIS. I guess they were holed up in the hospital there, and there was from what I heard today, there was 4 of them, and I actually saw it, dude. Vice had a dude on the ground there last week. And they were showing this guy running around with these other dudes shooting at ISIS. And these guys were talking about the people in Mosul when the coalition forces came in and liberated these people out of Mosul. They were kissing them. They were kissing the ground. They were thanking them. They were coming up to them. And the words were translated, "Thank you, praise be to Allah. Thank you, God, for getting us out of there." They talked about the beheadings in the street. This little 12-year-old kid saw people get beheaded in the street. ISIS are apparently, according to these people, horrible, horrific, just doing horrendous things to these people in Mosul. So, I mean, you can blame all that stuff on the rise of Iraq, and they're all pissed off because our government is occupying their lands and has probably killed some of their family members, and it's revengeful. But the bullshit that they're doing to their own fucking people, and what? I mean, these people are animals. So I don't even know if that's an accurate statement that all that shit caused ISIS. It may have started, but what it's at now, dude, seems like it's just fucking horrendous.
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I don't agree that they're animals. They are human beings. And,
okay, I agree. I take that back, and I stand corrected.
I know, and I know
they
that
act like animals. How's that?
Right, that's much better. And I know where you stand, and I know that was just a slip, bro. But the thing is, it's theocracy. It's what authoritarian theocracies do. Same thing with all of these far right-wing Christo-fascist people that we're going to get back into later, and and we kind of went off on a tangent about ISIS there, but that is what it's going to do. And it's not that it's Islam's fault per se, that it's not, because any religion that you take too fundamentally serious and that's coupled with this need to go out and win people over to it, which Christianity is fraught with that same kind of mandate, it leads to things like ISIS, and it's not, again, it's just not singular to any one religion. It's a authoritarian, theocratic,
I completely agree.
Obsession.